welcome. Thank you so much for joining us on this wonderful celebration of the publication of Fit for Freedom, Not for Friendship, Quakers, African Americans, and the Myth of Racial Justice. My name is Lucy Duncan, and I serve FGC as the Associate Secretary for Programs in the Bookstore. And I've had the great privilege of being able to witness the labor, the long labor and delivery and birth of this project. It's been a huge exercise in faithfulness, despite many obstacles and great resistance. And it's a great pleasure to be here tonight, to be able to hold the book in our hands and read it and imagine the promise that it holds for inviting the Religious Society of Friends to transformation. We have quite a party for you tonight, which I'll introduce in just a minute, but I wanted to start with a couple of words about why, for me, this project personally is so, so important. About 2 years into my time of attending Friends Meeting, I began attending meeting at Omaha Friends Meeting, which was a part of Iowa Yearly Meeting Conservative. I invited my African-American roommate and friend, Kathleen, to join me and another European-American friend from the meeting on a course taught by a traveling workshop leader, not part of the Traveling Ministries program, in a course for a weekend. And she was interested in Quakerism. She was interested in the worship, and she agreed to come. And as we were driving through Northwest Iowa to Paulina Meeting, we started to talk about Martin Luther King. And it became clear to her that neither Kelly, the European American, or myself knew that Martin Luther King had been influenced by Gandhi. And she was upset. She was understandably upset. I mean, first of all, Quakers had something to do with that, and also that I didn't know such an important part of history, of African American history. And I thought about that for a long time afterwards. And then during the course, there was a conversation, I believe it might have been about gay rights among meetings. And we talked about the obstacles to faithfulness, and that even though for many the path was clear and what was supposed to be done was clear, there were still people that were holding us back. And the retreat leader said, sometimes you have to wait for people to die to be able to move forward. And that sometimes it takes a long time of persuasion in order for this to work. After all, it took us 100 years to end slavery, but we were some of the first. And Kathleen listened to this, and she was visibly shaking. And she stood up and she said, how many of my people had to suffer while you waited 100 years to decide that this was wrong? How could you wait to be faithful? And she sat down, and we were drawn into worship, and we felt the truth of what she said. But she didn't come back to meeting. It's time, friends, for us to stop congratulating ourselves for the courageous few among us and in our past. We are on a brink of opportunity, and this book calls us to that brink to step through into full faithfulness, to explore the assumptions that we hold and let them go so that we can have the full richness of humanity and experience in our meeting houses. It's time. This book is not just a book. It's the expression of a movement. The design of this project has included the training of 25 Quaker facilitators who are offering themselves to go to meetings and work with meetings around the book and take the opportunity to fulfill the promise of the invitation that it offers. There's going to be a study guide that will be published at the end of March. That also will assist meetings and friends in grappling with this question. Before we move on to the rest of the program, there are a few people that need to be thanked. Barbara Hershkowitz, who was the first publications manager for this book, who died in the middle of the project of pancreatic cancer, was really a midwife for the beginning of this project. And it's a sad thing that she's not here to see it, but I can feel her joy. The book has been seen and grappled with and worked on by many, many, many eyes. Many historians, many readers have looked and provided comments. Many people have worked and offered their vision for this work, and I think those people also need to be thanked. And it's better for their endeavors as well. Barbara Mays, who took up where Barbara Hershkowitz left off as the publications manager, completed the project, and she worked really hard. But there are many hands that have held this book and many hearts that have held it as we've moved forward. There's a long list in the book, and you can read it. I want to give you a little outline of the program tonight, because I'm not going to interrupt the program to tell you who's next. We are very, very blessed this evening to have Tribe One with us, to open in song, and to lift our spirits really into celebration. We're also blessed to have Charlotte Blake Alston, storyteller, to give us some context for the presentation by the authors. And then after she performs, Bruce Bircher, General Secretary of Friends General Conference, will introduce Donna and Vanessa, and they will share some stories from the book. And please stay after, because the books are for sale and you can get them signed, and we'll have a longer party. Thank you, friends, for being with us tonight.